Friends, tonight I want to tell you about my favorite new art that I've seen in the last couple of years. This is a TV show, but I believe that it follows in the lofty tradition of the great Russian novelists like Tolstoy and Dostoevsky. What made the Russian novelists great? My theory is that they had an incredible belief in the power of art to save the world. These writers thought that what was necessary to save humanity was for many humans to undergo a spiritual transformation and awakening. If enough people awakened in this way, then we could work together to eliminate war and poverty and tyranny and all the other deep problems of humanity. Their plan for catalyzing spiritual awakening in their audiences was to depict a relatable, realistic character undergoing such a transformation. If the reader felt a sympathetic connection to the character, the reader might experience some of the same emotional or spiritual growth that the character experiences in the story. Well, you might be skeptical that this is actually a workable plan for saving humanity, but you have to admit it's an incredible ideal to reach for as an artist. I think that's why the Russians achieved so much. They had an incredible goal for themselves. The show I want to recommend to you tonight is The White Lotus. It's on HBO. It just completed the third season. I can mention a couple of great TV shows that I've seen in the last 10 or 20 years, like The Wire or The Sopranos. But this is the first TV show I've seen that I would describe as spiritually uplifting in the same way as a great novel. I want to talk about why and how it achieves that effect. The first aspect is that it has a diverse cast of realistic, relatable characters. These are people from all walks of life, different parts of the world. Some are innocent, some are not so innocent. And they have a variety of personality flaws that are very modern, so we can observe these flaws in ourselves. These characters also have very serious problems: romantic problems, sexual problems, health problems, legal problems. One important aspect that's a little bit remarkable is that the characters are quite weird, but they're weird in a realistic way because real people in the actual world are quite often weird. A second factor in the art is the beautiful setting. Each season of The White Lotus is set in a different resort location: Hawaii, Italy, and Thailand. This makes the show visually appealing and enjoyable to look at. But the setting actually plays an important thematic role because of the stark contrast between the sweeping grandeur and majesty of the landscape on the one hand, and on the other hand, the weaselly schemes and pettiness of the human characters. The final aspect is that the show contains a very clear spiritual message, but it's delivered in a completely natural way that makes it much more compelling. In the third season, one of the many subplots is that one of the characters, the daughter of the wealthy American family, decides she wants to spend a year at a Buddhist monastery in Thailand, a completely typical and modern project for a young, wealthy lady from America. Because of the subplot, it feels completely natural and uncontrived that in one of the scenes we hear a classical Buddhist teaching about suffering and detachment from one of the monks. Since most of the show is about the characters screwing up their own lives by lying and scheming and plotting in various ways, this Buddhist message feels incredibly powerful and relevant. Friends, I think the highest goal of art is to catalyze a spiritual transformation in the audience. Most artists don't even try to achieve that goal. They just want to entertain you. But The White Lotus is both entertaining and uplifting. So check it out and let me know what you think.